The Socceroos will be eager to continue their promising start to World Cup qualifying as they take on Lebanon across 2 games over the next couple of weeks, taking on Lebanon in Sydney at Combank Stadium, and then the following week on a Tuesday night match in Canberra, the capital of Australia. Australia, as we can see here from the Group I standings, sitting top of the table. Obviously just 2 games played so far, but Socceroos, with some promising results against Bangladesh and Palestine, a high-scoring match back in November against Bangladesh, and then just a 1-0 win away to Palestine. Lebanon here, they picked up 2 draws from their opening 2 games against Palestine and Bangladesh respectively, and will be eager to sort of secure second place in this group here. But Socceroos, there is an opportunity now for Graham Arnold's side to really cement their place on the top of the group standings. When we look at the record for these 2 teams this year so far, the Lebanese team here, they opened up the year with a pre-tournament friendly against Saudi Arabia. And then in that tournament, the AFC Asian Cup, they did struggle. They didn't make it out of the group stage. A loss to Qatar, 0-0 with China, and 2-1 loss to Tajikistan. Lebanon will be keen to bounce back against Australia, which of course will be a tough test for them because Australia have already built some good form this year prior to the Asian Cup, winning 2-0 against Bahrain, 2-0 against India, 1-0 against Syria. You can see another win there, 4-0 against Indonesia. I did have that 1-1 draw with Uzbekistan, and obviously that quarterfinal loss against South Korea. So, look, it's good when you see all the clean sheets there for the Socceroos defensively. They've been very, very solid over the last couple of years, Australia. But especially that Asian Cup, it's going to be important to see how the Socceroos shape up after that disappointing, you're probably going to say, early exit from the Asian Cup. A lot of fans feeling as though that Asian Cup was a bit of a failure for Australia, being knocked out in the quarterfinals. Disappointing that we couldn't get any further than that. So it's going to be, fascinating to see, whether Graham Arnold makes many tactical changes, compared to what, Australia was doing in that Asian Cup. But important to bounce back here. That was a disappointing loss in the end in the Asian Cup. But, the focus is now completely on World Cup qualifying. These 2 teams, Australia and Lebanon, have played each other a couple times in the past. Australia winning both matches 3-0, 2012 and 2018. Both matches were friendly, so this is the first time both teams are playing in a competitive matchup. This is the squad that Graham Arnold has named for these matchups, man, and it's plenty of attacking threat, especially when you look at the strikers area, and it's going to be fascinating to see, for me especially, that area, who lines up in what position across that front 3. Borrello seems like that likely option to start on the right-hand side. You do have players like Cassini Yengi who could play in a wide role as well. And again, the midfield is very exciting. We've got Aiden Hrustic returning to the side. A lot of importance, I think, is going to be placed on Keanu Bacchus, who you probably expect to be anchoring the midfield across these games. And some options across defence as well. Again, looking pretty similar to the squad we had in the Asian Cup, that defence. But no Aziz Bayic, he is out. So just Jordy Boss is sort of that lone left-back option. Again, we do have versatility. Someone like Kai Rolls can slot in a left-back if needed as well. So look, the side has a good mix of experience and youth, and should be enough to get the job done here against Lebanon. And potentially, especially if that first game goes really, really well, a chance maybe for a bit of rotation here. Some of the guys who haven't had too many games yet. I mean, you got like Yazbek, who are sort of still looking to make their their debut for the Socceroos. Would be great to see John Iredale get some game time as well. Even someone like Thomas Deng, who hasn't had too many minutes for the Socceroos of late. Would be good to see him hopefully get some more minutes as well. This is a look at potentially what we could see for that first starting lineup, and this is a team that I think is probably, I don't know whether it's my preferred team or potentially just the strongest team we could field. And we'd love to get your thoughts on sort of what the Socceroos should, starting 11 the Socceroos should be fielding for these 2 games, and whether we should be making any changes, experimenting a little bit. But, the back 4 of Atkinson, Sutar, Burgess, Boss, I think is pretty solid. The right back area for the Socceroos is an interesting one. Graham Arnold has opted once again to pick Gethin Jones, Lewis Miller, Natty Atkinson all together in that right back role. Again, someone like Natty Atkinson could maybe play further up on the right wing as well. At midfield 3, I think Bacchus, Metcalf, Irvine is probably a good balance there. wouldn't mind seeing, Hrustic or even McGree come in to that area of the pitch as well. It's good to see we've got good depth in that area of the park, that's for sure. And then up front, I think, Craig Goodwin, Duke, Borrello, that's certainly what we could see. We did see that combination play in the qualifiers towards the end of last year. But again, he's got so many options now, and not just the likes of Fornaroli and Yengi and Iredale, but now Adam Taggart, joining the squad as well. He's been in fantastic form for Perth Glory in the A-League. Is there a place in this starting 11 for Adam Taggart? I'm curious to see what role he plays, whether it's just maybe an impact role off the bench. Plenty of options here. And again, as I touched on earlier, whether we could see a tactical sort of shake-up. Graham Arnold has played a variety of formations during his tenure as Socceroos head coach. Lately, it has sort of been a 4-3-3 formation that that provides a lot of freedom to especially those midfield players. And it'll be interesting to see whether there is any shake-up to that. Maybe, considering the number of Socceroos strikers that have been included in the squad, as we see here, I mean, it almost suggests that maybe they could be shifting to more of a 4-4-2, playing sort of two central attacking players. And, that'd be fascinating to see. The likes of maybe Duke, Fornaroli, maybe Taggart, Fornaroli, Yengi, if you want something different as well. Plenty of options there. I think that is actually a possibility, especially if we're struggling to break down a defense, or if we need to chase the game, to have the option to bring on two attacking players. We could see that happen, I think, here for the Socceroos. And it's good to see with the squad that Graham Arnold has named, there is plenty of room for flexibility. So it'll be interesting to see what squad does take to the field for these two qualifiers. Drop your thoughts on these games in the comment section down below. Australia taking on Lebanon in Sydney and in Canberra over the next couple of weeks. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. My name's Lockie. This is Coswood Football, and enjoy the matches.